This is really probably the most important part of this process for us because what it does, it allows the various research teams to talk about the kind of things that they'll be doing. And this allows you, of course, if you're partnering with someone that you haven't had a chance to interact with before, then you'll be able to see the kind of things that you'll be talking about and use this as a vehicle to do that interaction. The other thing, of course, is that all of the teams can see what the other researchers are doing and see if there's something they can contribute or if there's an area that they would like to suggest some ideas and concepts. And so we're excited about this. What we'll do is we'll do it with each team. We have, what, 15 minutes at the most? 10 to 15. We do have an outside limit of 15 minutes because we do want to get through all the teams this morning. But as you'll see when I make my presentation, it's going to be significantly shorter. And so what we want you to do is talk a bit about the project that you're involved with. And if you want to have 2 or 3 people share that information, fine. If not, someone can share it. I do want to indicate that we are streaming, and there are some people that will be listening via phone or computer. And then we are recording this, so we'll have a record, and we can provide that to you and to other team members if you would like to have it. The first project that we're going to talk about, as you can see on the screen here, is the project of trying to create a strategic framework for this activity. And as the panel suggests, we're going to be working on trying to develop some sort of roadmap or some sort of strategic approach to how we do this. And as, again, you can see, our objectives are trying to first of all, develop a mission statement. And we started that a bit yesterday in talking about the fact that April will be trying to get back to you, and we'd really like your input and ideas of the kind of things that you think we should be doing in this center. And so we'll be depending a good deal on your input, and we'll do it first at a distance, but as we come together in these meetings, what we hope to do is provide you with, at least over this year's time, some of the ideas and concepts that we have so that we can continue to talk about how the various projects work together, and also talk about if there are any future projects that we want to engage in. And it's really a strategic visioning system that we're trying to create here. And our hope would be that as we do this and as we come up with the ideas and the concepts, that we'll be able to share those with the safety and technical training customer so that we can indeed deal with those issues as we go forward and as this center evolves. I'm going to be part of the investigation team here, and helping me very appropriately is Scott Terry from University of Nebraska, Omaha, and Scott's going to come up in a minute to share some of the ideas he has that he can bring to the table. As you can see in the panel, 2 of the faculty members here at the University of Oklahoma will be assisting us. Steve West, and I don't think Steve's with us this morning, but Steve West, who's in charge of our air traffic control program, will be working with us. And we're excited to have Jim Ham back. Jim, are you here? Okay. Jim has been the person who developed our air traffic control program and worked for a number of years at the Mike Monroney Center and was the assistant director of our air traffic control program when we had it up there. And then we're excited, and I think we introduced her yesterday. Lindy Ritz is with us, who was in charge of the Mike Monroney Center. Walt Cochran, who is working with us, previously had been with Lockheed Martin and is now with Leidos. And Walt has worked on a number of air traffic and FAA projects, so I think he brings a lot to the table. And then we also had Terry Salmon. Terry, are you here today? Terry's going to be helping us, and as you can see, he's with Computer System Designers and has been a long-term contributor to the distance education activities up at the Monroney Center and with a number of different FAA projects. So we're excited because we think that we have a unique set of people bringing a variety of different experiences to the table as we work on this roadmap. But as you can see there, we're hoping that we can get particularly industry support to talk about the kind of things that industry and commercial customers are seeing out there in terms of what needs to happen in air traffic. And I think we all have opinions in that area, but we want to work in trying to develop something that will be about making this center one that is a significant contributor to, as we said, safety and technical training. As you can see, we're going to be developing a number of workshops, and hopefully we'll be inviting you, but other people in the field, to come and learn about the kind of things that are going on. And we also hope to create a roadmap to help with the research dissemination as your results come in and as we provide those results in a variety of ways, both technological and face-to-face. What we're going to do is actually work with each of the teams and come back to you and ask that you refine your mission statement so we can see how that research activity that you're engaged in plays back into the strategic mission that we have for the center. And then we can talk about future research priorities, and I'm sure those will emerge. And as we heard yesterday from Pat and Karen, these centers evolve, they emerge, different activities occur, and so what we hope will happen is that as the center matures, that we can also mature some of our research areas. I'd like Scott to come up now.
Thank you, Jim. I just wanted to introduce myself and talk a little bit about the experience that I hope to bring to this in supporting Jim's effort on this. And he and I have been able to have at least a brief conversation or two about where we're headed. In addition to my role as Aviation Institute Director at Nebraska Omaha, I'm the NASA Space Grant Director for the state of Nebraska, and I have two responsibilities there. One is for a consortium of universities that work on research projects for NASA, but in my EPSCoR role, and EPSCoR is it's the experimental program to stimulate competitive research. There's 26 states now that are EPSCoR eligible states for NASA. That is more akin to the kind of thing that we're talking about here, is how do we connect the researchers doing work in the university environment with sponsors in the research centers and the mission directorates and NASA headquarters. And so I've been at that for about 10 years. And one of the things that I was able to accomplish, I was the chair of the first chair of the NASA EPSCoR caucus, which was to kind of shepherd or help my 25 colleagues from around the country in a similar role to connect better with our program manager at NASA headquarters, but also with the researchers and the people we wanted to collaborate with and serve at the centers and the mission directorates. And so it's been a real interesting learning process about how do you do that matchmaking, how do you get university researchers connected to the program managers and the sponsors of those projects. And it's not just that matchmaking, but how's that a mutually beneficial arrangement so that the customer, if you will, kind of gets the research they need, but also the universities build the capacity, the additional capacity to do future work. And so I think that kind of bring a different perspective. We've done some FAA work, so I've got a good familiarity with the FAA, but I think just having that other perspective about what's worked and what hasn't worked, and how can we best facilitate. I like to think of the role that I play, because I'm, as many of my colleagues would say, because I'm not very smart. So what I do is I find smart people to go do the research and connect with the agency. So hopefully I'll be able to help Jim and you all do that here. So thank you.
Well, I have to disagree a bit with Scott. We can hear from the way he talks and the roles he had is he's pretty smart. The good news is that I'm not going to lead this. I see it as a co-lead. So our hope is that we can build indeed a collaborative model so that we can all work together better as Scott has indicated. Now, when